we'll get back into reporting stolen items from queer people later in another time. But since you're just joining in and watching this now, I'm so happy to have somebody that I've been following for a minute now. You stood out to me too. I mean, we love everybody from the come up, but like when I saw you in the little trailer with like the Kim Petra song playing in the back, I was just like,
they did me right with Kim in the back.
Yeah, I was like, her. She's it. She's it. So nightlife legend, extraordinaire, gorge diva herself, milk makeup model too. And you can see her on Freeform's The Come Up. Ebon Gore.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, I love how now we're all like,
I'm honored. No, before this,
daytime
we were yelling,
fish.
like,
No,
I'm honored. This setup is amazing. This is beautiful.
Thank you. Shout out to WTF Studios. They're the ones that set this up. I'm nowhere financially to be like this yet. I'm still trying to get over the trauma of my past Air Forces, which I can't even get therapy for. So, but yeah, thank you for coming. I'm so happy that you saw the show too. Like, I gagged a bit.
No, I was obsessed. I think on my TikTok, literally on my For You page is just like these podcasts like Call Me Daddy, yours, like so many podcasts. And then I was like, wait, ironically, I posted yours on my story and then you literally DM'd me like a few hours later and I was like, wait, no, maybe like an hour later. And I was like, wait, this is fate. Like, this is my time. Like, I need to have this moment.
No, yeah.
Come and just talk all my piece.
It's funny because I didn't even see your DM until I saw... What was it? Like I was just looking at your page and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want her on. I was looking at your management info and I fully have a screenshot of your profile in my phone because that's what I'll do to like keep tabs in my mind. And I'll go back and write the management email down. I'll be like, okay, do that after work, email so-and-so. And I had it there and I was just looking through your profile and I check your story and I'm like,
you're like, wait.
Oh my gosh, they want to be on my show. And so that's why I hate you. And I was like, no, please.
Yeah, no, I actually just recently got signed to an agency and
congrats,
shout out to Max,
first of all.
Shout out to Max and Danielle. They're the best. But yeah, usually I don't know, I think like I also love going out to do my own things. Like I'm someone who likes to set up my own interviews. Like if someone comes to me with an interview, I'm most likely I'm probably gonna say no, only because I feel like I love being able to just make up my own kind of just set my own tone, set my own story. I love your vibe, love your energy. So it was like, this is something I would want to do. Like, I want to wake up and feel like I want to leave the house for a reason, and this was my reason today.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, like I was very excited. And also, not to mention, I feel like Deshaun was on here, Tamaguchi was on here. Legend. I love, a good friend of mine. So I was just like, hello, it only makes sense that I just teeter on here.
Absolutely. Doors always open. Yeah. I was about to say, speaking of management and everything, you just got signed. You describe yourself as a multi-hyphenate, which relates to the come up and everything as well, which we're going to get to later. But how's it been kind of finding management and navigating that life now as an entity while being a multi-hyphenated entity? Because that's a thing too, because they'll be like, what's your thing? And I'm like, just one?
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea.
Like, I'm everything.
Yeah, I'm everything. Like, isn't that why you came to me? Like,
yeah,
it's been very it's been odd because I feel like obviously before the TV show and before management, like I was really just doing my own thing. Like I could post on Instagram whenever I wanted. I can post on TikTok. I can take breaks whenever I wanted. But you know, now it's like I have my agent. Like, we need to have a phone call. You need to post more on Instagram. I'm like, what? Like, what does that mean?
You're like, is it that deep? But also, like, bills paid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I kind of get it. But then I'm like, now I have someone telling me, like, I don't know, just telling me that I need to do these things and be more active, which I love right now. I might get annoyed, like, in the next 3 months, but I love it right now.
Right.
I love having just people behind me, like, being able to just handle things that I'm honestly not, like, equipped for. Like, I love answering emails, but I'm gonna type like LOL and put a smiley face at the end. Like,
same.
I'm not gonna.
I'll like
don't know how to do
heart
it.
Emoji like
Literally.
at the end of the email. I'm like, love Joey, and I'm like, oh, this is really a straight man.
Yeah, I'm like XOXO. Like, can I do that on Gmail? But yeah, I don't know. I do appreciate having them by my side. They're based. I have Max in LA, and then Danielle I think is in New York.
That's awesome. How has it been? I fully like lost my question.
Don't
Unprofessional tease. But what was I about to say? No, especially because you started off in nightlife producing events. So it's a lot of work that you were doing for, the good of other people or setting up events. Like it was a lot of you giving your energy towards a lot of people, which is fierce, and it's brought you to where you are right now. But like, how is that dynamic shift now that like you have a team doing things for you?
It's funny because I feel like obviously I was doing parties in a collective called Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I had my friends with me. Like it was very like premature. We were not doing this for anything other than to literally have a party and throw a party and like just have fun. Like there wasn't really, we didn't go into it like Ebon like is gonna get the show and Ebon's gonna get management. Like that was not the case. And I am so lucky to have friends who like actually cheer me on. And like when I was telling them like, we're gonna have film crew at these parties, like, is this okay? They were like, duh, like this, if this is for you and if this is gonna make you go from here to here, then we're gonna do it for you and we're gonna support you. And I always just make it a point to just be like, these people, there's like 7 people in the group: Megumi, Christian, Christian with the C, Christian with the K, Tokyo. I have a lot of people in the group who I am so thankful for. And yeah, we just been making magic. It's been very different, like because I feel like I've always had a team. That's the thing. I've never like been by myself. I feel like anyone who says they did anything by themselves, I'm like, okay, girl, I don't believe you, but yeah, we'll see. Because I don't know, I really believe in like having just people who you can cry to, scream at, argue with, and then they're gonna be right there in an hour being like, okay, what do you need? Like, let's get this done. We had like our little banter, but let's work. And yeah, they're like that. So.
Yeah, that's what makes a really good support team. Like me with the show, like a lot of it besides like my engineer and I, like a lot of it, like when it comes to social and like, producing the interviews themselves and the social content, that's all me. Yeah. Like a lot of it is me, but nonetheless, when I am winning my Oscar one day, like I'm not going to be the first thing I think.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? It's going to be God, it's going to be Renaissance, and then it's going to be, I mean, that has to be included. How can you not? Yeah. But it's going to be.
We'll give Alien Superstar her own category. Like
absolutely. She'll get her own tribute 100%. At the show, matter of fact. But, it's, even if, like what you said, like even if the friends are just there to like confide in, like when you're having a bad day, like I was busy doing a lot of shit before this, and I was just texting my friend like, oh my God, I can't wait to leave my job, so I have more time to this and this and that. Just that simple moment of just being able to bitch to somebody and for them to be like, yeah, girl, you're right.
Oh, it helps.
That does a lot.
It does a lot.
Does a lot.
My roommates know, like I live with 2 other people, and one of my roommates I've been living with her for like 2 years, and even yesterday, like we were ranting in the living room, and she was like, do you want advice or do you want me to just listen? Because she knows.
I love those people.
Yeah, I will fully like just go in the living room and I'm like, and then I'll be like, okay, thank you. And I'll just leave. Like, I don't care. Don't tell me anything. Don't give opinions. Like, I said what I said, and that made me happy.
Yeah, I love that. I'm the same way. I go on either like creative tangents or like absolutely entertaining explosive rants.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense. Like I don't go off about a lot anymore because I've learned how to reel it back. I'm a Taurus, but when I do let it out, it's very hard. And the double Sag I mentioned to you, it's very hard. And when it does happen, like my best friend is kind of just watching it, is like, damn, she really mad for once.
Yeah,
crazy.
Damn, she's really mad.
And I'm just pacing around the room. But no, it's really important to have that, especially like within our communities. Like people are just like, the girls are great, but the girls could also be weird.
Yes, very weird.
Girls just meaning people in general. We're not talking about the dolls specifically,
of course.
Obviously.
Everyone can be weird. The dolls, different subject. We can get into that. I'm a doll myself, so I can say whatever I want to say. Hey, but I'm just saying, like, just people in general can be very weird. And I think, like, not only having friends, but especially, I don't know, when you want so much for yourself and, like, you just can't get it by yourself. Like, I don't know how to, like, elaborate on that. It's just, like, having people can only, like, just boost you up, especially people who are actually there to support you.
Exactly, especially when you're in an industry like this where it can come across very self-absorbed.
Oh yeah.
And like it's scared. A lot about you and whatnot. When it's not, we're just kind of focused on the goal, whatever the goal may be.
I'm like scared to be like confident and prideful and like just really like own my shit, because I feel like it's like you do that and now everyone's like, girl, calm down. But when you literally came from nothing and you still feel like you have nothing when everyone thinks you have everything, it's like, so do I pretend like I have everything, or do I pretend like I have nothing? Like, what will make everyone happy so I can be happy? Like,
Yeah. Is this how Marilyn Monroe felt?
Oh my gosh. Ugh, minus the blonde hair and the dress. Like,
no, right.
Yeah, she was definitely stressed as fuck.
No, that's the thing. In those moments, I'm like, yes, let me quote the great Nicki Minaj and just say
yes.
that lyric. I'm just like, is this how Marilyn Monroe felt? But no, yeah, it is. It's weird. And for me lately, I was telling my engineer before, I'm like in a really fun and interesting like transitory shift in my life right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word, but I made it a word. And it's like, it's a lot of me focusing on me, which is great. But with that being said, like I still have to take moments to tap out and zoom out and just be like, everyone's good, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, because and I could tell, you know, with you, especially seeing where it's gotten you, like we're very driven and focused people.
Oh, yes.
And when we have a goal that not only we want, but we actually care for and are passionate about, nothing will stop us.
No way.
Like it's not even a thought.
To be real honest, I feel like as a Libra, I don't know what it is, but I've always said like I have manifested so much of my life.
Yep.
Like I don't know, I have just like spoken things into existence or really wanted something, and it has happened. Maybe not at that time that I wanted it or exactly how I wanted it, but like it happened, and I can definitely attest to a lot of the things that I've just accomplished have happened because like I really was like, I need to like do this, or like everyone's gonna just look at me like I have nothing to my name, but like I need something. And you know,
that's a thing, and we've talked about it before on the show with other guests. It's like hard work, especially when we, you know, us as queer people, we come from different communities that don't accept us. Like we have to work hard as a way of survival.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So now for me personally, in this point in my life, I'm looking at work. I'm like, yes, I'm passionate about it. And I'm trying to like wean off that like feeling of like, you're doing this for survival. Cause I'm like, you're here, girl. You're fine.
You're here,
it's just
like,
a weird like balance to kind of figure out in life, you know, but nonetheless, honestly, it's given me like an incredible work ethic. So like shout out to the struggle, I guess.
Wait,
like,
you said what's your sign again?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, Taurus. Okay, yeah. That makes so much sense. Yeah, Taurus, you bitches work.
We work.
I feel like I'm very lazy. I take pride in my laziness.
See, we're lazy too. Like I think we know how to prioritize work and being lazy.
Oh yeah.
And same with Libras, I think. And I think Libras just enjoy a lot of great things in life. But those great things in life only come from hard work.
Yes, unfortunately. We can't just lay in bed and get everything we want.
Like, man, it does sound nice.
It does sound nice.
Maybe one day when we're making like hella residuals and whatnot. People are streaming to come up as like nostalgic television.
Oh,
you know what I mean? The way we're streaming like The Real World Now and stuff like that.
Or fucking Jersey Shore. I'm still on that. Like I'm still watching that. Like it's just prime TV right now.
No, it was a moment.
It was a moment.
It was really a moment. Who's your favorite?
Oh, definitely Snooki.
Okay, yeah.
Easy. I felt just because I would love to party all the time and just she got arrested on the beach. Like who doesn't want to be arrested
iconic.
On the beach? That's
Where's
beautiful.
The beach?
Yeah.
Well, on the boardwalk? Like that's queen things right there. Like that is very her story.
I have my Uggs on.
Exactly. And she was fully walking around the beach, sweaty as hell on the feet with her Uggs on, but it was still a look. Still turned it.
Oh my god.
And you mentioned like a little bit before of like, you know, working in like early days and coming up and whatnot. Where did you come from? Like where are you from? And yeah, like what's your background story? What got you here? Essentially.
So to start off, I am a country girl at heart. I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very southern. My mom is from Brooklyn. She's from New York, Red Hook to be specific. But she definitely was like, I do not want to have kids here in New York. Like it's just not what I envision like my life to be, and I totally respect her for that. So then, you know, she takes me off. I'm the oldest of 2 children, so I'm the oldest, and I have my younger brothers. We're all LGBTQIA friendly.
All of them?
Of course. My brother's bi. One of my brothers straight. Boo.
Yeah.
Me, the doll of the house.
Exactly.
I have a stepsister who is very much super hardcore lesbian, very kudos to her. And then my mom, you know, she's straight, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Mom, are you straight? We should ask her. I'm not really sure, but she's straight. But yeah, I grew up with just me, my mom, my 2 brothers. We grew up in North Carolina, and then I transferred. That's crazy. I moved to Virginia for high school, and honestly, I would say most of Virginia is where like I was developed. Like I feel like high school is very so important, and I definitely had a cultural shock going from North Carolina, the country. I had like cows in my backyard and chickens in my backyard to Virginia, and like now I have just so much culture and like so much lingo and like just the craziest things that I was like, wow, I am like 15, 16 years old, and all I've ever known is like waking up to roosters and like just the weird like racism and just a lot of transphobia and homophobia. Like I didn't know once you move, like people are normal and like people are nice and accepting. So that was a weird thing to get accustomed to. But yeah, I basically spent 4 years in Virginia for high school. I was going a little back and forth because my mom, she was in the military, so it was very like here for a year,
right,
here for a few years, here. But I honestly loved moving around. I think it made me so how do I say? I don't know. I have a big personality, and I can just talk to anyone, and I can really adaptable. Adaptable. Like put me in a situation, and you would have thought I've been there. So yeah, I was in Virginia, and then I moved here once I graduated high school.
Yeah. Where in Virginia, by the way?
I was in Stafford.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, it was super cute there. The first place I crashed my car. First place I got on probation.
Hot.
First sex, like everything.
Good
just
place to be a
happened in
teenager.
Virginia. Yeah, Virginia was just
you need the hot suburban moment.
Oh, it was such a vibe. But then then I moved to New York once I graduated. I did go to college for like 2 weeks.
Exactly.
3, but it just wasn't like, I was like, this is a lot to get up and drive to a community college to be sad. Like, this is like a lot. I'm very sad.
Yeah.
And how do I not be sad? So then get on a bus, and the next thing you know, my mom's like waving. She's like, I'll see you soon. And then I don't see her for a year, and I'm like living with my aunt. My aunt kicks me out because I'm like sleeping at my boyfriend's house and not going to work and being such, I'm like, I'm in New York. I'm 18. Oh my God, I have a boyfriend. Yeah. Like, he wasn't even my boyfriend. I don't even fucking think. Like, we were just seeing each other. But yeah, like, I don't know. She kicks me out, and then I pack my bags, and I'm like, dang, like, I really have nowhere to go. So then I go to my grandma's house, who lives a block from my aunt. So I just roll my suitcase over because I'm like, Mom, I can't come home. And she's like, okay, give me a sec. My mom calls her mom, and she's like, help this girl out.
You already had a team.
Yeah, literally. Basically, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Always need a team. So, yeah, I move in with my grandma, and then I'm with her for a year. And then from there, it's apartment after apartment after apartment. 5 years later, here I am.
Yay. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. It's not fucking easy.
At all. I think.
It's not easy.
No. And people think that all the time. I think, like, especially because I'm not from New York, like a major thing right now, that's like an issue for some reason. But because I'm not from New York, a lot of people think I just have it so easy. Like I just moved here. But like little do they know, I'm living like the crazy thing about me moving back when I turned 18 was I moved back into my mom's house. The house that my mom was raised in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Wow. I moved into that house because my grandma has never left the house.
Yeah.
It's like controlled rent, she never leaves. So I grew up in that house almost. I would come here for summers. I would come here for holidays. And like, just whenever my mom was like, I need a break, I'm in New York. Yeah, I used to come here for festivals and shit all the time. So it's like, granted, I definitely am not born and raised here. That's probably so different. But when your mom was born and raised and she's raising you in a household where she's taking everything that she has learned and putting it in that house, especially in New York,
you learn.
Yeah, so me moving here was kind of just like, my family's here. I'm going to come where my family is. My mom was like, you're going to be far, but my mom, you're literally living in the house that I grew up in, so how safe could you be? So, yeah.
Did you come to the city with a plan, like a specific plan? Like, okay, I have this job lined up. I'm going to
Yeah.
go and start there. Or did you just have the Greyhound ticket and that's it?
Girl, I had the Greyhound ticket. One way.
One.
Not one way. And then on top of
That's
that.
a good, what, 5.5 hours, I think, from Virginia?
Yeah, maybe even 6. And
yeah,
then,
I'm a Maryland doll, so I'm used to
oh,
that.
yeah, DMV. Okay, perfect. So, like, yeah, it was very far. And then on top of that, it's like, what was my first job? My first job was, Shake Shack. Keep in mind,
Really?
I'm working in Shake Shack. I lasted a month. It was so much lifting. Like, I thought when that's like on resumes, they're like just fucking around. They're like heavy lifting 50 pounds. I'm like, yeah, right. I was literally carrying boxes, walking up steps. And I was like, this is so crazy. Like, what am I doing?
Are
like,
we building the Super Bowl stage?
oh
or,
my God,
like,
you would have
going on?
No, seriously, I like building it from the ground up. I was like, this is crazy. So I stopped going. I just stopped going. I didn't really know how to say, hey, I quit, because that's like so embarrassing for anyone. Like quitting a job, especially when you first start. It's like, damn. Like I feel bad, but I have to go. And I just stopped going. Then I was like laying in the same boy that I was spending days with, that my aunt kicked me over, like still in his bed, just like, oh, I got fired from job. Let's still hang out all day.
Exactly.
I mean, silly girl. Like, I'm so silly.
Maybe you needed that era, though.
Oh, I did.
You know, like, you kind of need... I don't even want to call it... Like, if it was me telling, like, my or whatever, like, I've had those moments too. And, like, for me, when I'm in them, I'm like, that's kind of, like, my soft flop era. But, like, you find a lot of freedom in the soft flop era.
You do.
You know what I mean?
I felt very free just waking up, sleeping in his bed. He's feeding me. We're playing, like, just doing things that it's like, oh my God, I just moved to New York and I shouldn't be doing this, but like I just listened to that Lana Del Rey song and it just feels too right now. Like I just feel like I should
Brooklyn
be that
Baby,
girl.
Was it?
Very
of course. Of course.
Honestly, the whole Ultraviolet album
is her best album.
Very sad.
God tier.
I love a sad like
same.
If I can listen and I'm like,
no,
like, sign me up.
Same. That whole album to me feels like one whole movie. Like it could have been a visual album, if anything. Yeah. Like I don't know, all the songs are so overly expressive. Yeah, you know, Lana, especially at that time, is so
she's dramatic.
It's so dramatic. Like the other woman. I'm in the empty bathtub with my cigarette.
Literally, like a bottle of wine, hair wrapped up. Like I'm like, just like goes under the.
Where's my man?
Literally, have you seen her live?
Yes, I have. I actually went to the Endless Summer Tour, which was the tour for Ultraviolence.
Okay,
I saw it in Virginia, actually.
Wait, no way, because I went to one of them. I just don't. I was.
Were we aligned in a previous life? I
was the girl that was running to the pit. I was the girl that was outside, camped out before any.
Wait, I was too. Was it at Jiffy Lube Live? Wait, you remember what that place is called?
Yes, please. Wait, I am not kidding. I really think that is.
It was in June of 2015. I don't know why.
Wait, I'm not. Yeah.
No way.
That's so embarrassing. Yes,
because aligned before.
And I was literally like on the night. I was on the barricade at first. You know how those concerts go. You're on the barricade at first.
No, they had a whole like system at like the Lana stands took it. So
yeah. No, a number. You have a number.
Yes. Oh my God, no.
That's so crazy.
We pulled up at like 3 in the morning, like fucking crack ass. On.
Oh yeah, no. I think I didn't say the night. I think at that era was when like my best friend's mom was driving us, and we just we had to like beg her to go as early as we could. Yeah. I think like my like official camp out started with the 1975. I was outside of Madison Square Garden for 4 days.
Taste for which tour?
Like I want to say like their last. It was like
it was the one in 2017.
Yeah, like it was the maybe even like sooner. I would hate to think I was outside at 2017, camped out. Like, but I think that was me.
It was for like the I Like Madison When You Sleep album, like the one with the pink.
Oh yes, and then it's like the rectangles and
yes,
that was good because I camped out and I was barricade. My best friend camped out with me, but she left like the 3rd day. I camped out. You
have to commit.
Yeah.
You have to commit.
Matty was right in front of me with his platforms. I remember just being so obsessed. He was so hot. Back then. Now I'm like.
Yeah, and I wanted to see them last night too, just for like nostalgia's sake and whatnot.
Yeah, they were here last night.
Yeah, at MSG too.
You went?
No, I wanted to.
Okay.
But tickets were too expensive, and I'm just like, okay, no.
Yeah, I feel like now when it was expensive back then, and I had like my purpose was camping out. Like I was
Same.
on Twitter, like when me and my besties were
Me.
like, that was up my purpose. So when it was then, it made sense. Now it's like if I'm gonna go just for the show, I'm not gonna like camp out. I'm not gonna be in the front. I'm not gonna pay that much money.
No, even now, like GA shows, like I would always look at like the adults I would get into like GA shows, like right after the opener, right before the main act starts, and I'm just like, you guys are so boring.
Yeah,
like, now I get it. Like when you have work, whatever, I'm like, who's the opener? Shout out to the girls.
Yeah, but I'm not going.
I'll be there at 8:50, right before main act goes on at 9.
Yeah,
right in.
It went from like camping out to now you're showing up whenever you show up to like a concert. Like I think my last concert was Charlie XCX. When
Crash Tour.
Yeah, when she was doing
Hammerstein.
like, yeah.
I was there too.
She did like 3 days, right?
Yes.
And then there was like an after party.
Yes.
Like she did the after party vibe. I went to one of the after parties actually. I totally forgot that, and she did perform. But I went to the concert. Amazing. I was shocked because I'm not like a major fan. I know almost every song, but it's not someone that I listened to at first. So when I went, I was just her performance and the energy, and like I was just amazed.
Yeah,
like,
even when she's not like giving choreo or whatever, like when she's doing a song like Vroom Vroom or whatever, like
Vroom,
she just has energy.
It's like boom, the bass just goes crazy. I'm like, okay.
Oh my god, that was an amazing show. I'm really.
So
we've been aligned many a time.
Oh, 100%. That concert.
1975. Yes. Lana, wow.
We've been to all. That's actually crazy.
That's very insane. And you know, the 1975, that 2017 show is very formative. I actually, hopefully he's not watching. I actually met what I like to call my part-time sugar daddy on my way there on the Q train.
Wow, to the concert?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, my sister was with me and everything.
Yeah.
And
wow. I feel like that's so weird because I was going to mention I had like this experience that when I was outside online, there was this guy who, I don't know where I met him. It could have been in person or it could have been Grindr. I'm not even sure. But like I met him and we were just walking, like we were just hanging out. The next thing leads to another. We're outside, literally doing the full thing, just full intercourse outside.
Oh,
full,
wow.
Full, like
where outside?
Crazy construction area, very dark.
Really?
Very crazy. Keep in mind, I'm like, what? I'm in high school. So I'm don't even live in New York. No one, I didn't even tell my best friend this story, but like, yeah, we like hooked up. And I just go back to line, and I'm like, all right, sleeping outside. Like,
oh, Eugene.
Fully, that is so crazy.
I love it.
That's so crazy.
Love it.
And I obviously, the guy, like, who even knows what he's doing at this point? But like, it was just so strange because I'm like, I'm looking for so much fun. Like, I'm in New York, but you know how these lines are when you're camping out. You leave your spot, and like,
gone.
The girls will legit like rip you apart. So.
Yep.
It was giving like, can you watch my spot? And then I'm going out to hang out with this guy while this stranger, this girl behind me and the girl in front of me. I'm like, just watch this area for me. And it was just a whole thing. But it was definitely a fun experience. It was a vibe.
Such a great idea and a wonderful way to keep busy.
Yeah, definitely. Just get a little ping, 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 like those little Grindr pop-up notifications for sure.
How's your experience with Grindr? Are you still on? I know you're in a relationship now.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm not on Grindr.
Amazing.
I think like it's weird because I think I have a very different experience when it comes to like me on Grindr as a trans woman versus like being a gay male on Grindr, because the type of guys that used to hit me up, like I was on both dualities, so I will say before I transitioned, the type of guys that hit me up were they could either be my age or they weren't, but now it's like experience went from being like moderately good to me meeting like my first ever boyfriend in New York that I lived with for a full year. I met him on Grindr, like let's say back in like 2019, to now it's like if I get on that app, it's just gonna be old men and like guys offering me money, but in a way where it's like, I'm gonna give you $50 and we have to have sex and you have to do everything I say, and it's like
50.
Yeah, right.
50,
like what? $50, like you message me and you. That's besides the point, but like now it's like, yeah, the experience just wasn't what it was, because I think there's a lot more options for gay men on that app specifically, and then for the dolls, it's like we're either getting unsolicited nudes or just like guys stopping us on the street. Grindr officially stopped for me when I was taking my laundry, and some guy parked his car, literally ran down the street and was running down the street and walked beside me, and he wasn't speaking very good English, so I didn't even know what he was saying, but he was very much like, hey, like, I know what you are. But like hinting at the fact that he knows I'm trans, he has seen me on the app, and I'm carrying this big load of laundry. And he's just walking beside me as I'm sweating. I'm like,
Nope.
You're scaring me. I'm trying to listen to music, and you're not even gonna hold my laundry. Like, you're not even gonna at
These
least
are
like
delicates, darling.
yeah,
I'm the delicate.
Like hello, like
yeah.
hold me and my laundry, like at least. But very strange, and that has happened multiple times. Like
Yeah.
guys will stop me on the street in my neighborhood or like on the train, and they'll just be like, I know who you are, I know what you are, and I'm like, this is too much. Like, I don't. This is too much.
That's a weird way of being recognized.
Very weird, and that's
You
never
know.
happened before. Like when I was pre-transition, it's never happened before. I think like just I think like in the queer community, I feel like gays are very like, I don't know. It's easy because you guys could go to a party and it's like there will be a lot of gay men, but then I think for the dolls it's very hard because it's like we don't know if a gay man is interested in us, and then also on top of that, we don't know if straight men are interested in us for the wrong reasons, and then like, it's just a weird kind of mix, which is why I've been in a relationship for a full year
There we
now,
go.
and at this point I am like, marry me because I'm not going fucking anywhere. I'm not going back to that.
Absolutely, yeah. Grindr, like, I'm losing the possibility of a sponsorship here, but it's worth it. Like, I'm just not about it.
No.
It's not my thing. I was
Jacked
at a
is
certain
way
point.
better.
Really?
I think
I don't like the setup.
sponsorship vibes.
Okay,
money.
work.
If we're still
Love Jacked. Oh my God, Jacked is
Jacked.
my favorite
Hi.
app. My boyfriend of 6 years I met on Jacked.
On Jacked.
Fully should have a boyfriend.
We love Jacked. I've never had Jacked, but I do know if anyone's gonna sponsor anything is Jacked. Grindr, I don't even know if you'd want that
No.
sponsorship just because it's like
Eh.
Mike's. I've
Right.
almost like been killed from that.
And
app,
that's
so it's
exactly like I'm so like I'm just
Yeah.
not a fan of it for that reason. Like it's not even potentially so dangerous, but it is dangerous for a lot of people, especially the dolls.
they've like
Especially.
I think they've been trying to find ways to make it safe without fully taking people's rights. And they've been doing an amazing job, honestly. I think it's just you just have to be cautious like yourself. Like
Yeah.
you can't just meet up with like I used to literally, oh my God, no one knows this, but I used to sneak out of my dad's house. Like when my mom sent me to my dad's for the summer, I would sneak out and hook up with guys and like just do it because it's like it's summer, like it's fun to do at
We've
night.
all been there.
Right. You're like,
Yep.
bring weed, like just trying to be cute. And it's like, is it really worth it? Like you don't even have good sex because it's a stranger. Like it's not even like you're intimate, and it's very passionate. It's very forced, and it's just not worth it. Like I would have kept like all those bodies if I would have known. I would have been right here at this point, like just doing what I love and I don't know, just existing.
Same. I had my like college era. I was in Miami going to school there, and
Miami? Yeah. Oh wow. Love Miami.
I've just like you. I've been all over, and like those all stories have made me who I am. But my goodness, like that was my whole era. Like easily, like that was my whole era, and which is great. It's
Love
I
a
discovered
whole
a lot.
era.
It was a era when I tell you, and I brought the whole era back with me to New York when I moved here and started work at the show and whatnot. And I'll never forget the last hookup I had from Grindr. Like he left Grindr, like he was fucking fine, like he was great, all that stuff. But he left, the door closes, and I'm just like, so what now? Like,
yeah. That's how it is.
is that it?
Yeah, no relationship, no.
Yeah, and it's like I wasn't expecting like, okay, let's go grab dinner together and talk about each other's lives and where we've come from, but it's just more so the idea of like, oh, that was so transactional and I didn't even get anything from the transaction.
Yeah. It's like you have that experience, and it could be a great experience, but it's like it really just depends on what you want after that. Like there would be, obviously there's nights where it's like, well, I would really love someone to just be with, like not even like there would be times I would just have guys come over and they would be so happy to just be with me, like and that was so beautiful because in my head I'm like, I'm on the receiving end. I'm like, this guy's probably gonna leave, and there's nothing. Like I have had guys hook up with me, and literally stalk me to the point where I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to block you and I have to like fucking move so you don't know where I live. Like, and it gives like, I'm on the receiving end. I'm like, I just need you for this one night. Like, I just need some love. And I feel so bad, but you are like 40 years old and like, really, like, it can't go further than this. Like,
No,
even if you wanted it to.
Absolutely not. And there's a lot of old men on there now, which like we love old men, but like a lot of suspicious old men.
Yeah, there's too much going on in the world for like, I feel like
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like at least with other forms of social media, you could keep some form of elusivity on there, you know, whereas like Grindr, the whole point is like find what's nearest to you.
Yeah, 3 feet away.
Weird.
You're, like on the train, just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, like
so crazy.
Weird. I don't do it, but I wanted to talk about the come up too and how you got involved.
Grindr to the come up. Let's do it.
I mean,
I live. I
love a smooth, not smooth transition
Right.
whatsoever. But because, you know, you told us a little about your life beforehand and you came to the city at 18, job at Shake Shack and a dream.
Yeah.
And then Shake Shack, you know,
just ended and I still have that dream.
and that's like the point, you know, like that's why I think and I really admire you about and, you know, everybody else in the come up and a lot of these queer creatives right now. It's like, we're in, you know, this new generation where, you know, things are fluctuating, things are varying, you know, based on the pandemic, based on jobs, based on the economy and whatnot. But a lot of these individuals, specifically queer individuals of color are like, fuck it, we're just going to make our own space, whether it be from nightlife, whether it be from fashion, whether it be from becoming an influencer, an entity. Like some people may look at it like it's not a big deal, but I find it a very big deal because here you are now, you're on a show on Freeform. You've done a lot of this by yourself, you know, and you've done it in the best way possible, like the unorthodox way.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people think like, okay, I have to join this job, join the corporate ladder, da-da-da. No, you don't need to. A lot of these dolls now that start in nightlife are now the ones that inspire runway shows, fashion, like
100%.
we need them. And so, yeah, that was a whole tangent, but
yeah. No, I respect that. I feel like it's definitely... It's been hard, obviously, like, coming from where I've come from. Like, it still hasn't really settled. I never, like, imagined television. That wasn't something that my mom has. She's always said I'm very dramatic. She's always said I need to be on TV. But, like, I really moved to New York, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just want to live here. Like, I was just seeing photos of friend groups. I was seeing, like, social circles and, like, just... things that I was like, I need that. Like, it wasn't really like I'm coming here for a job. It was like I'm coming here for friends and like family because I don't have community because I don't have that. So naturally, you know, when I started in nightlife just attending parties, it was like even that was very therapeutic. I think like just queer people in general, like us existing and us going to these parties, even if we don't contribute in regards to like music, when it's like DJing or I don't know, we bring looks and we bring like full like enthusiasm,
culture,
energy,
like it's just
culture.
Straight up culture.
Exactly. So like, you know, coming from just going to those parties and then eventually my friend was like, you should come into this collective and throw parties with us, to now like, you know, showcasing that on television, like, is just so crazy to me. Like, I was actually on TV talking about like crowdfunding and raising money for surgeries and just shit that I'm like, that's so normal to me and my community that like, you know, we do naturally. We're always crowdfunding and always like sharing information and just posting. But I think like to have it on a large scale was... I was like, this is a lot. I felt a lot of pressure.
Yeah. How did they reach out to you? Like, how do you go from creating these events and just being in nightlife to being like, oh, Freeform wants me on their show? Like,
I think it was really... I honestly, don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I'm not sure if when I first went out for the show, my friend Vice, she like sent me this link, and I was actually at that time in Texas for a rave that I got flown out to throw, and the rave was at a church. It was fucking amazing.
I love that.
Yeah, like my friend was fully playing like church music like over beats, and it was just insane. And we threw it in a church. And our investor flew me and my collective out. So we fly out, we do the party, we come back, we miss our flight back home. Obviously we didn't pay for those flights because we got flown out, so we missed the flight. And I'm like in Atlanta, and my friend Vice, she sends me the link and she's like, so I read it. It's like a TV show, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird, but I'm going to do it anyway because why not? And it basically, they just asked a lot of questions. It was like a questionnaire. And the one question that stood out to me that like they even mentioned, it was like, basically, what are you doing right at this second? Like, what are you doing? And I literally was like, I put this full paragraph. I'm like, well, if you actually want to know, I'm in the fucking airport lounge because I just got flown out to throw a rave in Texas at a church. We missed our flight. Don't know what to do. And they were like, oh, beautiful. And next thing you know, I'm sitting on a couch and they're interviewing me. And it first started off with just the production team. I had no idea it had anything to do with Freeform, HULU, any of that. It was kind of like we were filming a show. And then they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, da-da-da. And I was like, okay, cool. Wow. I think I knew it would be on TV. I just didn't really know what the vibe was. I didn't know if it was Netflix, HBO Max, or like whatever. So as we're filming it, you know, I'm getting used to everyone, and they finally tell us like what the vibe is, and I was very shocked because I feel like I think I was like, I want to say I was almost born to be in front of cameras because I love it. Yeah. I love it so much, but also reality TV is so different because it's like we were being so real and so honest that like it was almost like the cameras were not even there. Like it was almost like I didn't have this huge mic and like full camera crew and all this on me. Like I was just existing and you know, throwing parties and going to these parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I love the show and I love the way it's shot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so aesthetically pleasing and it looks like a reality show, but it also is filmed in a way like a scripted series.
Yeah,
if that makes
sense. Which was very odd. I didn't even know how they were gonna edit or how things were gonna come off, but it definitely, as I was watching it, I was like, this is like an actual show. Like this is weird. Like coming from like YouTube and like my phone, literally my iPhone. And then they are like, oh, yeah, by the way, we found you from YouTube. Like, we used to watch your videos. I'm like, wow, this is so odd. Like, and now, like, it's basically like iPhone to huge camera and a lot of people in my house and a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you realize you're like, oh, this is like real deal. Yeah. Like, this isn't a fucking like NYU project I'm joining on that I found on Backstage. You know what I mean? Shout out to that. But it's like, no, this is like a full on. We've all been there, huh? Fucking subscription is draining my bank account. And I need to sign up for something. But no, it's like when you realize you're like, oh, the level that this is at, and they want me.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
I was scared. Because I'm someone who's I have a lot of friends who I love, and I want to make everyone happy all the time. Like that's my thing. Like I want to make everyone happy, and to feel like I was holding a lot of people's stories on my shoulders. Because obviously everyone on the show has their own different, like how do I say, like different storyline. Yep. You know, Fernando is an amazing model, beautiful human. Sophia is an amazing photographer. Taufiq, fashion designer, Taufiq's amazing.
I love
it. Yeah, we'll talk about Taufiq. He's amazing. And then there's me, and mine is like a mix of like my love life, and then I'm throwing parties in the rave scene, and it's like it's not really about my job, because I definitely do not consider community work or party throwing or organizing a job for me personally. I definitely take it as like this is something I just do because I want to do it. I love that. But yeah, like all of that stuff. You know, it's on TV, and I'm talking about like crowdfunding. I'm not the only one crowdfunding for surgeries, and I'm not the only one that's throwing parties and trying to make sure the girls are safe. Like I definitely was not the first. Yeah. So like to have mine such on a large scale like that, it was very like what are people gonna think? Like everyone. It's going to be like, girl, you didn't do this first, or you don't know what you're doing, or this is not you, but like...
Am I good representation for this work that's being done out there?
This whole community, like, I'm the one that's there. And, you know, that was like a whole imposter syndrome thing. I definitely had that thought where I was like, this can't come out because people are going to really drag me. Like, they are going to drag my fucking name through the dirt. But, you know, I had a talk with my boyfriend, and he was like... You know, right now in the rave scene, we are highlighting trans women down, like especially Black trans women, and like my boyfriend basically said, like, he was like, if anyone's gonna tell this story, it should be Black trans women. It should not be a white girl who's throwing the party. It shouldn't be a white boy who's throwing the party. It shouldn't even be someone who is not like a minority really going through issues that we are raising money for, you know? Like, I'm going to these parties and they're specifically fundraisers for trans women to get fucking breasts, like to get shit that like things we need to like feel very gender euphoric.
Like, they may not sound like they are to others, but like this is helping fulfill somebody's identity.
Exactly.
You
like
know?
Fully someone's identity. So, you know, like having that in the back of my head, and I'm like, I have to talk for myself and all these people. It was very hard, but like I definitely only spoke about my own personal experiences and it came off amazing. I was working with all queer, like a full queer crew, production crew, and that amazing. It was definitely anything I wanted. They were like, girl, we got it for you. Like, I wanted that matcha. It was there. Food, like, it was amazing. It was a long year.
Yeah.
When long did you all film? We started filming last year, last summer, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was, they filmed the Baroque Ball. That was like the first time they filmed with me. They filmed the Baroque Ball, and from that date to, or actually no, they did film beforehand as well, a little bit. So I would say, yeah, it's been a full year that we filmed, and then we stopped just a couple months ago.
Yeah. Have you known any of the cast prior to being on the show?
I actually did. I knew Sophia, and then she is like the angel. Like, you just want to protect her.
Chill. Like,
like
the moment she came on screen, I was like, I need to meet her.
She's amazing. So cool. She's so lovely. And then Fernando, Claude, they all went to my party, Baroque Ball.
Okay. Cute.
I think Fernando couldn't go, but he knew about it. A lot of them went to my party before I even knew them, which was so amazing, because as we're watching like the pilot, they're showing me them at my party, and I was like, wait, there's like, how did y'all like tell them? And they were like, no, they were already just there having fun. So yeah, I only knew of Sophia, but the others knew of me. I didn't know of them at all.
Who's the closest?
The closest, I would honestly say Sophia.
Sophia.
Yeah, it switches. If that's so weird to say.
Yeah.
Like at first,
at
first it was during filming. Me and Fernando, we were so close. I think just because I don't know, we're very similar in the craziest ways. Like, me and Fernando grew up very differently, but we are so similar. Like, his energy is amazing. He's just so sweet and so humble, and I could just talk to him forever. So at first it was definitely me and him, and then after filming, me and Sophia and Taufik like had a little group chat moment, and then like, I don't know, me and Claude, like it just switches. Yeah, because I still see them out all the time. Like, I was just at Taufik's exhibition maybe 2 weeks ago, and I saw Claude at Basement. We were very outside smoking a cigarette, just ranting. So yeah.
I love that, and it's a good cast too. Whoever casted the show,
yes.
Beautiful
Shout out to Jess. I think it was Jess and Ann, the production company. Cast is amazing. I was also shocked.
It's an amazing cast.
Yeah, I was
an amazing cast.
Watching it, I was like, and it's so crazy because we all genuinely get along so well.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, I don't know, you could just tell when the chemistry is off. But I think genuinely watching the show, you're like, wow, these kids actually fuck with each other, because we just love seeing each other win. Like, even now, I'll be on Instagram and like I'll see Sophia and she's sponsored by like Coca-Cola, and I'm like, hello, like this is what we wanted. This is what you needed. Like, it's amazing.
Sophia's major. Like,
she's
the
major.
Shit she does is next.
Yes,
level.
She's been doing it for so long. It's crazy because I like knew of her as being a photographer years ago. So to now we're both on this like show and we have this platform. It's like, wow, we kind of been doing this for that long. Like, it's so crazy.
I think the show beautifully represents what I guess you want to call them millennials, or just people in their 20s are, what they are now. You know, even her whole struggle, the first scene in the show is her talking about, you know, she doesn't know if she wants to continue college or not, because photography and everything has been doing so well for her. And a lot of kids go through that. Like, a lot of kids, especially, you know, us queer kids, like, we find our own amongst nightlife, amongst other venues of life. And they end up being really promising because they're sticking to our authentic selves. Who would have thought? And it ends up working out. And I just think it's so important for that to be shown on a huge platform.
I agree.
Freeform.
Because I feel like a lot of the one major thing was like a lot of us. The only person that's from New York is Claude. That's on the show. That was such a major topic because I feel like, you know, when we're doing a reality based TV show in New York City and only one castmate is from New York, that's always going to create a lot of buzz. I think just because, you know, people don't think like we really have
like you're
feet in New York.
enough.
Yeah, New York enough. And I totally respect that, and I definitely understand that standpoint because I couldn't even say like maybe I'd have that standpoint. But I will say that like the show, anyone who watched it knows that it's not about New York City. Like it's not like it's not like about Dime Square or New York City. Like that's not a thing. Like it follows us so much, and it's really like about like just the stuff we're doing in New York. Because personally, I think like they definitely could have gotten someone that is possibly a Black trans woman in the scene who is from New York, who could tell their story the way they want to tell it. But I don't know. I think the producers did amazing. I think like the castmates and just me like really working with these people for a year plus. Like I am someone who's like I probably had the most meltdowns. Like I think Jess, the producer, she will tell you there have been times I would text her and I'm like, I'm not coming. Like you're gonna actually have to come here and drag me or send me a car from my house to take me to the city to film today because I can't. Like there was a time I was in Miami and they were willing to fly me back home, to fly me back to Miami just to film for a day. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll just come home. But yes, but like
Freeform money. My God, wow. Oh.
It's a whole other topic.
I love that.
We'll get on that, but it's just like, I think I don't know. I think as far as just the cast, they were picked very amazing. I think everyone has something that they're doing in the city that contributes to a way larger scale. Like that's the thing.
Exactly, and I think that's the point of the show. It's not just about New York. You know, if you want to learn about New York, watch, you know, fucking Travel Channel.
Yeah, something fucking Sex in the City or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it reminds me. Law and Order. Literally. I've never seen that shit. But like exactly. It's it kind of reminds me in the way of like RuPaul always describes Drag Race. Like Ru's always like, you know, it's not just about like makeup and being cunty or whatever. Like it's about the tenacity of the human spirit. Exactly. It's about seeing, and that's the exact quote Ru uses, and it's like seeing how far you're willing to go to pursue your dream. And I think the come up is exactly that and more.
Yes,
you know,
think so too.
Like, because I mean, it's essentially just following kids working.
That's it. And the thing is, everyone thinks like, you know, everyone thinks like we were on the show and we have money and we have apartments and we
y'all
like
work your asses off.
Oh my God, it's been like they do not like a full year of filming and I'm still like asking for help to pay my rent. Like I'm still asking like, oh my God, I need money for groceries, but I have to go film for a TV show. Like that was so hard for me. And I think like a lot of people, they see the show and obviously they're not filming like me struggling. Like I wouldn't even feel comfortable with them in my apartment and I literally didn't even eat yet. Like
for sure.
So little things like that, I feel like, you know, people, they have a lot of opinions and they just see the show, but they're like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still like this Black trans girl who just moved here 4 years ago. I have roommates. I pay rent sometimes if I can. Like it's never giving like shows out I'm rich, I'm good. Like as if that was the world I live in, hello, I would be like in Mexico right now, like
that's what I'm saying.
Sleeping on the beach. Like, come on now.
That's what I'm saying. And I think if anything, that adds the authenticity to the show because even to the other castmates, everyone are complete naturals.
Yes.
Even in their own confessionals. No one's trying to be this certain image that they think they should be. Everyone is so completely themselves and it's so authentic and refreshing to see. Because reality TV could be very like, oh, well, this has worked in the past.
Oh,
so I'm going to try this time, especially for queer folk. Like,
no.
We all think there's a certain type of way we should be. Even with this show, like, everyone's like, okay, like this queer kid is starting a podcast. It's going to be about like gossiping and tea and whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not my thing. I'm not an Andy Cohen. I'm not a Jason Lee.
No.
That's not my shit. Like, I guess shout out to them, but like they could keep that for them. That's
they can keep that. They've coined that. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like
for sure.
Each person has their own thing, and I think you guys are doing an exceptional
Thank you for that
job. For real. Has there been any like unreleased moments from the show? Like a lot of moments that didn't make it to
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There have been a lot. I can say there was definitely I guess I can say this because it's not in the show, like whatever. So like I flew out to Miami, and they sent someone with me, to film like basically my entire trip, and that was an amazing trip. Like I was getting Miami is odd because I think
It
like
is.
I went with my roommate. She's gorgeous, very cute. And like me and her, you would have thought we were like fucking Beyonce and Kim K. The way like we could just walk and guys are like free drinks, free weed.
Yep.
This like trying to get you just free things to do things, obviously, but like it was like everything was free there. And I went and basically the entire like storyline was like I could just when I went there, basically like how we film is they just film and like things just happen. And like
I see.
if it happens, then cool. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But they'll obviously like just feed into it a little. Like if something happens, they'll be like, Ebon, you should go do this. And I'm like, I don't want to. Or okay, yeah, that would be cute to see on TV. So yeah, they sent a producer out with me. Her name is Morgan, and she basically filmed the entire trip, and it was very interesting because none of it's in the show at all. But it was an amazing trip because like they got us free Ubers everywhere, and like we just had a lot of alcohol, and it was very beautiful. But I do wish they got a lot of that because there was a lot of me just being crazy.
Stalling, yeah.
Crazy. Like there was this cute guy that I met there, and we had like this, it wasn't like a romance, but like I met him, I want to say the first day, and then by the third day I'm going to his job and he's clocking out, and then we're going to the pool together.
Oh, it's a fling.
It's like we didn't hook up, we did not do anything
That makes
sexual
it even more cute,
except
in my
kiss.
opinion.
Yeah, but like he kissed my friend too, so I was like whatever. It was very casual.
I mean, she's gorge from what you're telling me, so.
So gorge. But yeah, I wish a lot of that went in there, but it didn't. Probably didn't have enough jush, enough storyline. But yeah, it was a nice trip.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. What's been your favorite part about filming?
Ooh, my favorite part.
Yeah.
Probably being able to like film whatever I want, and like also having the cameras around. I think that's very funny when you're like, there were a few scenes in the show that didn't have like full storylines, but they would put clips, and there were a few clips that they put in from New Year's, and it was basically like I was with all my friends, and they asked if they could come film me.
Yeah.
And it was in a house. It was like a full house party that we had, and it's me bringing like 15 of my friends, and then like 4 camera crew, and I walk into the party and all my friends, I did let people know that I was going to have a camera crew literally coming with me.
Right.
Because, it's New Year's. There's a lot of substances
Yep.
everywhere. So the camera crew comes in and everyone's like, girl, what? Like you
Yeah,
said,
right?
and keep in mind, I tell them, I'm like, the camera crew's coming, like it's not that big of a deal. But, when it's like me and just a lot of people and a lot of cameras. So all my friends are like,
What's going
like putting everything away, like just hiding everything. And I'm like, y'all,
Yep.
literally, I'm like, y'all do not have to do that. Like, please don't do that. Because it made me feel like I was overstepping, because I've always been in that community. If I showed up, I'm valid like anywhere, but bringing cameras and they're like, are they filming this? And it was just a whole thing. But I loved having the camera crew around everywhere because it just felt so badass. Like walking down the street and then like people literally yelling and hawking, and I'm just like, yeah, like it's me. Like this is for me. It was pretty cool. I would have to say. I feel like it would be very strange of me not to like point that out, because I feel like I always thrive in front of a camera. I just feel so comfortable.
Yeah, and that's something like you felt like you were destined for. You are, even your mom said it.
Yeah, my mom was like the queen of, you're so dramatic, you should be on TV. And then I tell her about this and she's like, shout me out, don't say anything you shouldn't say. Like a lot of rules, but whatever.
Have you been able to like reflect and take a moment and just be like, I'm doing it?
Yes. And then it went from that. I think there's like a few stages of that, because I feel like, of course, it's like the show comes out. I'm filming for a year, and then it comes out, and I'm like, wow, like I finally did that. I'm watching it. We have the whole premiere and like the red carpet and everything. And then it's like, okay, what's next? Like, I think it went from like me being so happy to me being like, I'm like grieving the whole process of like filming and being able to go upstate and like just could wake up and do whatever I want, because like I'm working. This is like my work. To now, like, I am not filming every day, and now I'm at home every day, and now I'm like, what's next? Like, I need something. So yeah, it went from being like very happy to very confused to very pleased. Like now I'm just pleased. Like I'm so happy I did all of that, and like it finally came out, and now like my mom watches it and my family, and they're like, I had no idea. Like you were this cool and you had this many friends and you were doing this, that. Like so yeah, it definitely it hit. It hit pretty hard.
Yeah. Especially, you know, once you've struggled and everything. And especially in our early 20s, we're all just like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And
Yeah.
something just lands, and it's, you know, you've had many moments in your life before and many big things in nightlife and whatnot. But when you have, like, notably, like, your first big break, you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, wow, this is that moment.
Yeah, it's definitely it was like I feel like I haven't had that moment of like, wow, this is my big break. But I
Yeah.
definitely have had like, wow, like this is something that I've had to hide for so long, and now it's like out. So now it's like I don't want people thinking this is the only thing that I am capable of doing, because I was doing so much before the show.
And I wanted to ask you a few more things because, like, I can't stress enough to the girls, like, you guys work. Like, you all work.
Yes, the girls were.
Like, you know, like what you're saying, like, it's not just like, okay, you're on a TV show and everything's fine
Yeah.
now, you know? So, and a lot of people come to the city with the expectation of like, oh, let's just be cute, let's just show up to parties or whatever, and not necessarily apply any of those lessons learned to what we're trying to achieve here in the bigger pictures we're trying to paint right now. So what separates you and the rest of the cast versus those other people that come to New York, and like maybe things don't come through because they didn't really give their all to it?
I think like ultimately, I think when you come to New York, you obviously have a dream. And I can't say like what my other castmates, you know, why they came to New York,
sure.
or how their energy was. But I can say that for me, like what makes me different from like someone who is just moving here, who just wants to party, is like honestly like nothing. Like I feel like I moved here and I had that same mindset where I was like, I want to move to New York and I want to build a community and I want to build friends, because I think the rest really came after. Like it wasn't an era. I think I moved here when I like literally did not know what to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna move to New York, and I still like don't know what to do, but I'm here and I'm having friends. And I think like obviously I work my ass off, but like there was a point in time where, you know, I was here and I was like, New York is fun. Like
Yeah, for sure.
it's just fun. I'm gonna go to the club.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go to the club. I'm gonna go home and repeat. But I think like when you that comes off in your relationships. Like whenever you want to build like a really solid foundation of friends, partners, you're gonna find someone who likes to do exactly what you want to do, which is party all night, drink all night. It's gonna reflect in how you guys talk to each other, how you hang out, what you do.
Absolutely.
Now these are friends you only go to the club with, but you can't go to the park and like
Yeah.
drink wine and like talk about feelings, but y'all can like do coke and go crazy at the club. Like
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of my like little switch. Like I think, you know, if you're gonna come to New York, and you think like things are gonna be sweet, they probably are, but then like what's next? Like it's always what's next. People are always there's always someone and something that can just, you know, blow you over if it really wants to. Like I don't know, I think I obviously have family here and I have like a really solid foundation of friends, but that took 5 years. I've blown through so many friends in the 5 years that I've lived here, and even now, who's to say like my friends are permanent? But like, you know, I am happy with where I'm at, and like it took me a lot of trial and error to get here.
And what do you think has been like the biggest lesson you've learned so far? Like the best tip you could offer to somebody that wants to make a life for themselves by their own, against the normal routine of job and etc.
I would honestly say just like do what makes you happy. I think like when you are pleasing people in a big city like this, things can get so confusing for yourself because you don't know like, should I be doing this or should I actually be doing this? Or like you just don't know how to navigate life when you are trying to please someone that isn't yourself. Like you don't even know what you're feeling because you're trying to make this boy happy, and now like I did, you lost your job, or now like you're staying at this boy's house and now your aunt's kicking you out. Like you're trying to make this person happy when your life is completely falling apart. Like don't do that. It's so not worth it. And like take your time. Like it took me every little thing that I did in New York. Like when the first year I moved to New York, I was in, I want to say 3 magazines, 4 magazines already. You could see me anywhere in the train station, anywhere like at airports. But that was not like, I'm like, I think back now and I'm like, that wasn't, I was happy, but like I was still broke. My aunt was still kicking me out, and like I was still trying to just fend for myself. So like little things like that, like the little accomplishments, they're so amazing. But like, think about the bigger picture. Like, you're in this magazine, but like, what are you gonna do with that? Did you get paid? Are you investing that money? Like, there's just so many things I did wrong that I'm like, oh my God, like, how did I even get here?
No, I think you're doing fantastic. And you mentioned it before. I think it's because you have community at mind.
Yes.
And when you have that at mind, that's the bigger picture. No matter what the community is, it's like, that's the bigger picture. And when you have that at mind, everything else just figures itself.
Yeah, you're right. I think like having friends, definitely. Like, when I like first moving here, I can definitely count. I lost count on my fingers how many times like I've had to hit my friends up and be like, hey, like if you just sent me like $20, I send it back. Or like, I just need a razor so I can shave my face. Like, something so little as that, like, it counts. And I can imagine if I did not have that razor to shave my face and get all this body hair, I'd probably be so dysphoric. Like, just things lead to
Those things
another.
help.
Like,
those little things do help.
100%. So just having community could really just get you there, I'm sure.
Yeah. And what's next now? You mentioned before the idea of like, oh, what's next?
Yes.
What do you want to be next for yourself?
Oh my gosh. I honestly, after the show, I've been very invested in, this is gonna sound so weird, but like animals.
I love it.
Like, I don't know how.
Animals are so cool.
I had a dog for a good 2 months, and like just outside of like work related things, I was just talking to my partner last night, and we were just kind of talking about the long term. Like I'm 24 and it's not old, but like, I don't know, he's 26 and like, kids by 30. Like, in 5 years I'm gonna be 30, and like I want to move, or like 5 years, I suck at math, but I'm gonna be 30, and it's like, I don't know, I want to like think about the years, like
long term.
Like the show was amazing, and like I love living the lifestyle that I live of very much like wake up and figure it out, but like I also want to like wake up and be like, oh wow, I want to have a kid one day, or wow, I want to move and have the means to do that. Like, I want to be able to like wake up and like, oh, I should move to this state, or like wake up and start like the process of adopting a child or going about it however I want to. Cause like, I don't know, I want to have a cute life too.
I'm the same way. Like, career's great and everything, but this ain't it.
No,
this
like,
is not it.
No, this is
not it.
I'm tired of like I feel like as I legit get older, like I am thinking about things that will make me happy, like in 10 years. And I know like just building a community and better relationships with my friends will make me happy. Possibly moving out of New York will make me happy. And like, I don't know, having a little family, and all that takes money and all that takes time, but try to put in the work and make it happen.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm in my boss pussy era right now. Like, it's cute, but like
boss pussy.
it's a fantastic era to be in. But like the domestic pussy era, oh my God, it's gonna be tired everything. When I have husband by my side, 2 kids, the dog. Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. Like, my partner just moved in with me temporarily, and like when I say I'm like texting him, let me know when you get home from work, dinner will be on the stove, like a shower when you get home, like just the cutest things. It's so fulfilling.
If it fills you in a different way that like work and professional stuff doesn't really.
It feels good, like, you know, making other people feel good, and then also like, I don't know, feeling like you have other reasons outside of just working so hard and like being like ashamed to do things. Like, I want to like work and then be happy about my job and be happy about my family and friends. Like, you know, it all can coexist. It just
completely
need to find a way to like do it without literally having the craziest breakdowns of our lives.
For sure. No, exactly, because that's the thing. Like, and we mentioned it, it's like it can become really selfish or very just self-focused, so much to the point where like you forget about other people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but sometimes you gotta think about just yourself.
Of course, and you know, real people will understand that. Or those that are real people that are meant to be with you for the long run.
Real people will understand that. Fake
real
people,
girls will understand. No, if not,
cut off.
I'll see you later. You'll see me later.
You'll see me later, right?
But I for real want you to come back anytime you want.
I would love to. Oh my God, this is so fun.
We need to have like 12 parts.
Yeah.
Because Like, I'm obsessed.
Who knows? Hit up the cast. Let's see if we can all do like a.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm trying to reach out to everybody.
Yeah.
I would love it. I think we got a few extra chairs in here.
Yes, it's
hella
so.
mics in here.
I couldn't
That would
imagine
be a
getting
carry.
like Fernando in the States. He's always gone.
Right.
He is like never in New York, but you can definitely catch him on like a good week. A good week for sure.
We'll have to plan around that, and
Yes.
if not, like, we'll try to get as many.
Yes, I would love to have them.
That would be so much fun.
Of course.
And come back anytime you want.
I would love
And
to.
we have to like party together.
Oh yeah, totally. We can. Oh, parties easy.
We have to, because things
Easy.
are changing for me in the next few weeks, and I'll be having a lot more time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
once this is done rolling. But it's about to be a fun time.
Okay,
And I
lovely.
definitely want you in my life more, because
I
you're
would love-
such
yes.
a pleasure, and thank you
Let's
for
hang
coming
out.
on.
Thank you so much for having me.
For sure. Thank you for wanting to be on.
course,
For real.
of
Like,
course.
that made my week. Let everybody know where they could find you and
Okay,
all that.
so you can find me on Instagram, Ebon Gore, 2 N's. Find me on TikTok, Ebon Gore, 1 N, EBONGORE. That's it. Twitter, don't find me on Twitter. You don't even want to see that.
yeah.
Honestly, don't find me.
Yeah,
on
once my crushes start following me on Twitter, that's when the situationship
Yeah.
dates, and I'm like, okay, I see why.
Twitter. It's done, but you can find me there.
And watch the come up. On
Yes,
Freeform.
watch the come up. Definitely, season 2. Please watch the come up.
No, there has to be. It's too good. You have to watch it. And it's such an easy, refreshing watch. So please watch it, and please watch our show too. And I'll see y'all next week.